Hello, good morning. Hi, Rohit. Welcome.
Hi,
Thanks for the subscription. Could you please tell me about yourself? Like, where are you from and what do you do? And why did you subscribe to my lesson? Can you hear me?
hi,
Yes, but can you hear me? Hello? Are you there, Rohit? I just heard hi from you, but can you please speak a little bit more? Hello?
hello.
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from India.
You're from India. Okay, great. And which part of India? Which part of India? Oh, I think he's gone. No worries. If you're free, please join me again. Say good welcome, everyone. It's Monday morning here. And our local time is 6:34. With another subscriber lesson about IELTS exam, speaking and writing sessions. This session covers all the 4 modules of IELTS exam like speaking, reading, writing, and listening. Also, it covers your grammar problem, vocabs, how you can make sentences, as well as how you can be a good speaker, fluent speaker, how you can build up your confidence, how you can motivate yourself to study more and grow more. Bear in mind that it is your responsibility to study more, though I can show you all the bits and bytes, information, tapes, all the related information. So let's move on. Um, if you remember, I started discussing IELTS writing tips from last week. So we'll continue that. Before that, bear me a moment, please. If you are interested to join, it's very easy. Visit my profile and subscribe from there. Possibly you may be eligible to get 2 free lessons, or if you want, you can subscribe for the whole month. That's totally after you. At the moment, Hallo has an offer. If you use this code, you'll get 30% discount for all the courses with any teacher, and that is Hallo Summer. Okay, so IELTS written tasks, academic and general. Briefly speaking, for both of the cases, there are 2 tasks. Task 1, and task 2. And disclaimer, excuse me, if you would like to have good score in IELTS exam, once again, disclaimer that you must have a little bit education of reading, writing, speaking, listening, and understanding. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to develop your writing or reading skill and answer it accordingly. So if you don't have basic education of English reading or writing, you can't expect to have good score. And why is that, for you can ask? Because this test is fully based in English, and if you don't understand the question, then there is no way you can answer it correctly and effectively. So it will be better for you to have a good practice of this type of test. If you are well educated, I mean to say, if you have at least a 12 years education or an undergraduate degree, then it will be easier for you. And if you have good habit of reading and writing and speaking, as well as listening, watching movies, especially English movies, excuse me, it will be much better for you to develop this writing skill or reading skill. And before that, once again, if you're interested, please join me. I'll be happy to bring you here. Let me see one thing. I need to check something. So Rohit, you have subscribed to me with a free trial, and you will get 2 lessons today and tomorrow for an hour. And after that, your subscription would be over. But if you think that these classes are helpful and supportive, in that case, you need to subscribe to me with your money. Okay. So, briefly speaking, once again, task 1 and task 2. 2 tasks are for both of the tests, academic and general. And task 1, you have to write your topic from a given chart, or a bar, or a bar chart, line chart, process diagram, map, etc. And sometimes some students think that it's a bit challenging because there is nothing there except this chart, some data, some information. And you have to write 150 words minimum in 20 minutes. And you are entitled to write 10% more, because with 150 words you may not be able to finish the whole topic, so you have to write a little bit more. And task 2 is 40 minutes to 150 words, and again you have to write a little bit more, maybe 10% more. Now the matter is that uh, both of the cases the words are counted, so when you finish writing you have to count your word as well. And task 1 for general test is either a letter or an application, and task 2 is same as task 2 academic test, writing an essay. And the marking are once again there are 4 parts of marking: task response or achievement 30%, 25%, then coherence and cohesions 25%, lexical resources, which is covers vocabs, antonyms, synonyms, and phrasal verbs 25%, and grammatical range and accuracy another 25%. But for the task 1, it carries 30% of the total marks, which is 2.7 point total. Task 2 carries 70%, which is 6.3 of the total marks. So I always advise and suggest my students to start with task 2 for the writing part, and then you go for task 1. We discussed last week the writing tips, the criteria. But if you're still interested to know, if anyone is interested to know about it, you're more than welcome to ask me. And hang on a second. We are discussing last week task 1 of general test. Looks like Rohit is back. Rohit, I have invited you again. If you're free, you can join me. If not, that's fine. If anyone is interested to hop on, you are more than welcome. What you have to do is you have to send me a hop on request so that I can accept you. Bear in mind, if you subscribe to this lesson on a free trial basis, you'll get 2 lessons. If you subscribe for a month using the code, you get 30% discounts, which is $11.20 for 8 classes, plus hop on the public live broadcast, free hop ons. And for straight hop on, it is only $2 per session. It doesn't matter how long is the session for. A session could be an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. Okay. So we use formal words in writing. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Hello, Mark. Welcome. We do not use informal words. We avoid it. We use formal words. Okay, these are done. One moment, guys. I describe all of this formal and informal words list. It's quite big list, guys. Okay, before that, Let me fix it out. Okay. Task 1, general test. Task 1. So what does task code of general test contain? Letter, application, email, or any other official communication. So letter covers a wider ranges of letter like invitation, job interview letter, refusal, request, family letter, confirmation, appreciation, etc. And application has wider range like complaint, inquiry, inquiry about the product. It could be service, it could be job, it could be loan, it could be admission, it could be tickets, it could be events, it could be visit. And the last type of application is lost and found department. So lost and found always covers the things you lose somewhere. It could be in a bus, in a train, in a train station, or in a bus station or somewhere. You have to follow the procedure to let the authority know. And you can lose anything. You can lose your wallet, you can lose your documents, you can lose your passport, you can lose anything that is your own property. And there is a procedure how you have to write the letter, inform the authority. I'll discuss all of them one by one. So likewise, there are three parts of the letter or application writing: introduction again, body, conclusion. So as usual, introduction is what you're trying to say, the main message, and body is what you're going to explain about the information, and conclusion is, in this case, it's not suggestion, it is saying thank you and also waiting for the response or the query. So again, the marking criteria for general test is task response, 25% coherence, cohesions, 25% lexical resources, 25%, excuse me, grammatical range and accuracy, another 25%. So writing task 1, if you take a closer look at the task achievement in the IELTS assessment criteria, you can see the examiner checks to see if your letter contains the following features. Number 1 is purpose of the letter is presented or not. Why do you need to write the letter? Number 2, tone of the letter is appropriate. If you remember tone, what it means, as every writing, especially where it is an official writing or academic writing, there are two types of tones: academic tone and general tone, or in another way, formal tone or informal tone. But in official, there is also another tone, it's called semi-formal. If I write it, I think that will be better for you. Excuse me. Hello, Mikhail, welcome. Hello, Vimal, welcome. Good morning. So, if you're interested to join, please you can send me a hop on request, or you can subscribe to my lesson on a trial basis, or you can subscribe to my monthly subscription by using the Hello promotion code Hello Summer. Can you see the screen, Vimal? Can you guess what it is? It's all about IELTS writing style in general topic. So you have to understand whether your letter or the email or the application covers the following things. Purpose of the letter is presented, tone of the letter is appropriate, and bullet points are presented, highlighted, and extended. Format is very important and appropriate. Letter format. So we are going to explain this point one by one. That's a quick overview, but let's take a closer look at what each of the dot points means and how you need to write your letter in IELTS writing task 1. State the purpose. Start your letter by clearly stating why you're writing, and we call it the purpose. The reason for writing your letter needs to be clearly presented in the opening paragraph. Make sure the purpose of the letter is in direct response to the situation outlined in the question. For example, there are formal and informal letters. And there is an example how we can write formal and informal letters. I'm sure more or less you are habituated to have seeing this kind of emails or letters from different organizations, including in your office. In formal letter, we always write dear sir or madam, whereas in informal letter, we use by the first name. In formal letter, there is another technique that we use with the correct salutation with the last name. Okay, so what is the word salutation for? Salutation means your title, like Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, Professor, Sir, etc. In many countries, especially in the UK and some other countries, they give you special title as a Sir. But generally, we use and address each and every male in our country as a Sir and female as a Madam. And look at this first part. In formal letter, I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with product I purchased recently and to request a full refund. So this is a complaint letter. So you bought a product from a shop, but you're not happy. You're dissatisfied. So you want to have the full refund. We have to bear in mind that in many shopping centers, for many products, there are criteria to refund or return it. It should be generally in the UK within the 28 days time. It shouldn't be used. You must have the original receipt to return and the valid reason why do you like to return it. Okay, so these are the criteria for return or refund the product or item. Now look at this pattern for the informal letter. Dear John. John is the first name of the person. I've got an English teacher whose name is John too. I was so pleased to hear that you are planning on visiting my country. So I'm writing to give you some travel tips and advice before you book your trip. You can see that this informal letter, the topic is if a friend wants to visit your country and give uh, enough information to the person. If you compare, you will be able to see that in formal letter we have used sir or madam, whereas in informal we address the person by name. Guys, I'll be back in a moment. I'm back, guys. Hello, Sulaiman. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. So, as you can see, Commons IELTS General Training Writing Task 1 situations may include letter of complaint, formal letter, personal business, recent experience, product, letter of invitation, maybe party, dinner, celebration, graduation, etc. Okay, and let me see formal letter. Next one is letter of request. Request. Letter of request. Remember, the word request is a noun as well as a verb. And if it is noun, we stress in the first part, request. Request. But if it is verb, we stress in the second part, request. Depending on the context, it should have two different tones. Letter of request, asking questions, asking for advice, asking for help. And the letter of request, look, that could be formal letter like refund, repair, advice, reservation. And letter of request, asking questions, advice, help. Letter of inquiry, information request, booking. Letter of thanks or appreciation. Then letter of recommendation, job, colleague. Letter of suggestion, suggesting ideas, plans, solutions. Okay, so use the right tone. What does the tone mean in writing, guys? I've explained quite a few times though. Tones mean each letter has some style to write. Okay, the style depends on what kind of letter. Is it a formal letter? Is it an informal letter? Is it a semi-formal letter? So depending on the context, the letter should follow like this. So let's move on to the next feature in your letter that the examiner is looking for, the tone of your letter. The tone refers to the way in which you write the letter, formal or informal style. The instructions in the question will give you a clue. Begin your letter as follows. Alright, like dear, informal or semi-formal, or written to a friend, colleague, or someone you know. Alright, so dear, the name of the person. So in formal letter, we always address the person by the name. First name, remember. It's not last name either. First name. So which one is first name? If you look carefully, as a person, all of us have one first name and one last name. And sometimes there are middle names as well. And I've seen in Arab countries, they've got two or more middle names. So for them, a name is very big and sometimes it's difficult to understand. So remember, first name is the first part of the name. The last name is the last part of the name. Sometimes the last name is also called surname, family name. So if somebody asks you your family name, you have to tell your last name. So dear, first name of the person. Say if you know the person, say for example, the person name is Brian. Dear Brian. We use name in informal, semi-formal, and when you're writing letter to a friend or a colleague or someone you know. But in formal letter, we write dear sir, madam, if you don't want to address by the person's name. We also, in formal letter, we write like this as well. Dear Mr. or Miss, then last name. So if you do not know, then dear sir, madam. So let's write it later. If we do not, if you do not know the person. So a formal letter contains that passive languages, passive voice, be past participle. You know the passive voice, guys, and that's very important for you to know. And second is modal verbs. Modals, you know the modals? Modal verbs like can, could, will, would, shall, should, etc. Okay, so once again, a formal letter contains longer sentences that use passive language. And modals or modal verbs, like they've given an example. The broken light needs to be fixed to ensure the customers who use this facility have adequate visibility of their surroundings. Now, informal letter is conversational. What do you mean by conversational, guys? We'll explain it. Can include contraction like can't. More direct space. Can you fix the light in the kitchen so I don't have an accident? Informal. And conversational means you, the letter will give you an idea that you're talking to the person. Okay, I can see in the second example, like direct speech. Like, can you fix the light? It's like I'm having conversation with you, but actually I'm not. It is the letter that the way I'm writing to you because it is an informal letter. Okay, the next one is another table. The table shows some examples of formal and informal vocab structures that you can use in your IELTS general training writing task 1 response. If you remember, we always use formal, informal letters like request, ask, purchase, buy, could, can, would, will, at your earliest convenience, when you're free. Respond, write back, reply, cannot, can't. Yours sincerely, faithfully, best wishes, love. We'll explain this more, guys, because most of the people do not know why we have to write yours sincerely or yours faithfully. Furthermore, and also, can I suggest, can I tell, as you described above, as I mentioned before. And finally, remember that the greeting and the closing salutation of IELTS general training. Writing task 1 letter needs to be match the style. Okay, so what's the style, guys? This is very important. If you start a letter by writing there sir or madam, you have to remember we have to finish by writing yours faithfully, faithfully yours, yours truly, truly yours. And that is needed because you don't know the person. If you write the letter by addressing or saluting the last name with Mr. Miss, like dear Mr. Wave or Miss Taylor, then you finish the letter by writing yours sincerely or sincerely yours. And that's the rule, guys. Remember, and it's very important for you to know. Once again, when you don't know the name, we use yours faithfully, faithfully yours truly, or truly yours. When you know the name, but you start with the formal letter like Mr. or Miss or Mrs., we finish it yours sincerely. When you start the letter by name, no Mr. and Mrs., that means the person could be your friend. Then we write best wishes. When we write to a close friend, we write it with love as well. With love, or your loving friend, because you're writing a letter to a friend. So, for example, dear friend Anna. So you can write with love or your loving friend. Okay, and that's very important. So once again, dear viewers, I'm discussing today the task one of general task of IELTS exam, how we can write a letter in different situations: formal, informal, semi-formal, close friends, relatives, etc. Good morning, Sajal. If you have got any questions or comments, and if you're interested to hop on, though there is only 7 minutes left, if you're interested to subscribe to my lesson with free trial basis, you are more than welcome. What you have to do is you have to visit my profile and subscribe from there. You may be eligible to get 2 free lessons. If not, you can subscribe the whole month with the code to get 30% discount. Okay, we're almost at the end of this lesson. So we include bullet points when writing a letter. As a part of the IELTS general training writing task 1, it is important to include the bullet points presented to you in the question. The question in IELTS general training writing task 1 will present you both a situation, who to write the letter, what you must include in the letter. Okay. Nowadays, people do not write letter; they write emails. So remember, the email format is same. If you just compare the letter structure to the email, it would be the same. So all the 3 bullet points need to be presented. And remember that some bullet points contain more than one element, so make sure to watch for and plurals. Let's break down the following question. An overseas friend wants to visit your country on holiday. Write a letter to a friend. So that's the task. In your letter, recommend the best time of year to visit and why. So recommend the best time of the year to visit and why. Describe the types of accommodation your friend could choose. Say what you like to show your friend in your country. So remember that very often we go on holiday to different countries or different places. But sometimes we do not go to any relative's house. Sometimes we take the hotel. We stay there. If you haven't got a relative, you have to stay in a hotel. But if you got a relative, we can stay with them if it is okay with them. Check with them whether it is okay or not. Do not go to your relative's house without informing them. They might be irritated, annoyed, and disturbed, and they'll not be happy. So it's very important for you to let them know that you're going to stay with them because you're coming on a holiday for a few days. So write at least 150 words. You do not you do not need to write an address. See, when you're writing, no need for address because it's not real life letter. You're just writing the format or you're practicing it. Okay. Do not call me, please. This is annoying. When I'm on my class, people start calling me. Okay, so begin your letter as follows. We will not be able to finish this today, guys. We'll finish it tomorrow. So let's stop our lesson here. So, guys, once again, you are watching my live stream from the UK, and our local time is 7:27 a.m. If you're watching for the first time, welcome and thanks for stopping by. And if you are a recurrent viewer, thanks for watching. I know there are many people who always watch my live streams silently, including some Hello teachers and some users. They never make any comments, but yet your presence is very important. I'm glad that you are watching it silently. Okay, and remember that English learning, especially IELTS exam, has got different features, different sections. And from these classes, I try to focus, excuse me, on different points and different problems, how you can just fulfill that criteria, whether it's writing or reading or speaking or listening. Bear in mind that you can learn a lot of things from a teacher, but at the end of the day, you need to practice. You need to have your own time to practice, I should say, because practice is like a magic word. We are humans, our brains have the trends to forget the things before the end of the day. But if you write it, then you can practice it. If you record it, you can practice it. If you can save it, you can practice it. Without practicing, you can't hope to be successful. Practice every day, doesn't matter 5 to 10 minutes, whatever time is possible. And bear in mind that we make mistakes, but don't stop for learning for that. If you make mistakes, get it corrected it from a competent qualified teacher. And that is the essence of making mistakes, that as long as you learn from it and you move forward. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming here, for watching and listening to me. I hope to see you soon in my another class or maybe in my free public live broadcast. Take care. Cheerio.